Today on Experience in Gear, we talk about 10 really bad metal guitar tones. Being the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019, I've been seeing a lot of best of lists and top 10s, and I thought I would do my own top 10. Of course, I'm gonna go the other way, and I'm going to list 10 really bad metal guitar tones. Now, I asked you guys on Facebook to give me some examples of some really bad guitar tones, and you guys came through in spades. So largely, this list is made up of what you guys told me were terrible guitar tones. So fair warning, spoiler alert, some of your favorite bands are in this list. And also, in case you're wondering, I am an expert on bad guitar tones. Just look at any video on this YouTube channel. So I think I can comment fairly and justly on a bad guitar tone. Now, we'll also note that a lot of these albums are due to production issues or just engineering and mic placement at that time. It's not necessarily guitar players have really bad tone in general, but these albums that I'm going to name generally sound kind of bad. So don't blame me, I'm just calling them out for what they are. First on our list, number 10, October Rust from Type O Negative. This album's guitar tone sounds like they chained a bunch of metal zones into a larger amplifier that was made with the circuit from another metal zone. It's very bad, but classic songs, no one's denying that, but the guitar tone on October Rust is... Number 9, God Hates Us All from Slayer. Thrash legends Slayer have contributed so much to the metal genre and the thrash genre that cannot be disputed. However, the guitar tone on God Hates Us All is lacking body, and it's really piercing and generally pretty harsh. Number 8, And Justice for All from Metallica. The members of Metallica themselves have said in many interviews that they look back on this album and think, well, it felt right for the time, but I can't help but think that they also hear how dated this album sounds without any bass guitar. And without any bass guitar, the naked guitar tones on this album sound not great. It's very 80s, very compressed, very scooped, and generally do not hold up to today's standards. Number 7, Resurrection Through Carnage from Bloodbath. This early 90s production is very raw. It's very raw. And the guitar tones, I can only surmise, are a metal zone plugged straight into the board or something, because these guitar tones are absolutely atrocious, but I suspect this is all they could afford, and thusly, it does sound right for the genre as well, being Swedish death metal. But yeah, it's pretty bad. Number 6, Waking the Fallen by Avenged Sevenfold. This album was Avenged Sevenfold's breakthrough album and propelled them into the stratosphere as far as being the rock gods they are considered today. However, the guitar tones on this album sound like a very, very poorly placed SM57 on a vintage 30 of some type with a Marshall amp. I can only guess, but it sounds very, very fizzy and lots of top end and not much else. Number 5, Adrenaline by one of my favorite bands, the Deftones. The debut album from Deftones saw the guitar tones sound like they were going through some kind of a weird low-mid hose or something. They were very unique for the time, and it does fit the songs and the aggression of the songs. However, Deftones themselves have often said that maybe that album didn't sound the greatest, and the guitar tone is no exception to that. Number 4, The Blessed Hell Ride from Black Label Society. Guitar god Zakk Wylde's Blessed Hell Ride album is tonally really off, and I can't really put my finger on it. It sounds like some kind of a phasing issue for multiple guitars. I'm not really sure, but there's this really weird out-of-phase guitar tone going on with a lot of fizz, and yeah, I'm not sure what was really happening at the time. Number 3, Come Clarity from In Flames. Now, In Flames have had a lot of really good sounding albums and a lot of bad sounding albums, but Come Clarity, in my opinion, is just a weird sounding album, especially the guitar tones. They sound very low mid with a lot of fizz and not a lot of attack in the guitars. And generally every time I listen to this album, I think, were they actually like, yeah, that sounds sick, because it doesn't sound sick. Number 2, The Blizzard of Oz from Ozzy Osbourne. Yeah, I know, Randy Rhoads is the greatest guitarist of all time. His tone on this album was absolute garbage. I'm sorry, I have to say it, and you may disagree, but the songs are stunningly awesome. But the guitar tone on this album is anything but. It's all mid-range and top end. Again, not a lot of body, and it doesn't. And last but not least, Cowboys from Hell from Pantera. When I asked this question on Facebook, Cowboys from Hell was the overwhelming answer that everyone got back to me as far as really bad guitar tones. Classic, unbelievable songs, and the guitar tone on Cowboys from Hell was very unique and not super awesome. It's very razor thin and not very full at all, but again, the songs are classic, and the album still holds up to this day. However, the guitar tones, they don't. Well, there you go. There's 10 of the worst metal guitar tones ever, as voted by you guys, not me. And if you want to follow along, you can go ahead and go down into the description, and I have made a playlist on Spotify of these guitar tones and the albums with which I use to make up this list. You can follow along for fun and just see what exactly all the fuss is about and argue away if you'd like. All clickable links down below in the description. You have been wonderful. I have been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.